It might help to make a short list of what is taking place in the video. Do some dot points or a mind map or table. This will help you to sort out what kind of mood you're going for and the key events that you'll need to mirror in the music. In the trailer, I designed 3 main sections of music, representing each section visually. Here's an example of the A and B sections and how they compare to each other. Don't forget to include the mood, key events and characters. Now that you've got an idea of the mood and key events, you'll have to think about how to show this in your music. This could include things like instrumentation. What instruments do you imagine playing when something is happening? It could be that certain instruments match a genre or represent an emotion of the character. Watch that video to do a quick practice. What do you think should go in there? Look at the significant events. First you have them kneeling down, so what kind of things would you put to show that they're down? Then you have the badge, like a badge of honor. You see the woman look to the man, and she doesn't look like she trusts him, so how can you convey this in the music? Finally, you see the man rise. The 2 men are rising against the woman, standing up high. How can you convey that they're standing? Maybe you can think about pitch, texture, or dynamics. Something can lift up as they do too. For example, in mine, I used the high-pitched notes to represent nobility, being high up when it shows the badge, and also physically being up when the 2 characters are standing, and also the escalating situation. To differentiate the meaning, I used other concepts like texture. The bassoon and strings play together first, showing the nobility and respect, but when the characters stand and the situation escalates, only the bassoon is playing a high note. This further exaggerates the escalating situation, representing suspense, making you think, oh no, what's he going to do now that he's stood up? Another point of this texture change is to signify that the woman, like the bassoon, is now by herself without accompaniment. Tonality is another significant factor to consider, depending on the mood you want and what is happening visually. I chose a major key to represent the calmness of the situation and the nobility present. Watch out for how instrumentation, texture, tonality, and other points on this list you see change in the next 2 sections. Let's take a closer look at how we've matched the music to the visuals. Have a read of this slide to see in more depth how we've achieved this. Technology plays a large role in compositions for trailers. We should consider the genre, which for us is outer space, and try to match our music with it. When I think of space, I imagine futuristic electric sounds, with lots of synthesizers and distorted sounds. This is why our next sections have lots of synths, and later an electric drum kit and electric guitar. Pulsating rhythms are also a great idea. I dragged some loops into GarageBand and also recorded some of my own audio. Another important aspect of technology to assist with reflecting visual events through sound are sound effects. I imported some into the 3rd section, which we'll hear very soon. The main ones I used are because they suited the main events that I saw, spaceships and explosions. You can easily import sound effects into GarageBand as audio files like we have done in class, using the free Zapsplat website. Let's listen to this section. Think about how the instrumentation, texture, tone colors of instruments, and everything else is different to the previous section and to the first section that we heard. Consider what you might do if you were an underwater princess having a celebration for something happy. What kinds of sounds would you make? Here's a few ideas you can read. Think about what else you could do and how it might be different in another scenario, like a horror movie. Here's a few questions to help keep you going. Think about how the characters feel, what the mood is like, and which instruments can help you achieve these kinds of moods. Think about what significant events are occurring, what's memorable to you, and how are you going to emphasize these things. How can you use technology to create the appropriate composition for your trailer, and how can you use sound effects to match things well? These are all important things to think about when you're about to compose your piece.